hair. I don't know what to tell you. I saw this movie 2 nights ago. I bought this book the day that it came out. Peak COVID 2020. I read maybe 2 chapters and then I stopped. I don't know why. I know why, because I didn't really like reading back then. And the only books at the time that I had read were the Hunger Games series. So I bought this one because I love the Hunger Games. It's my favorite movie, franchise, media ever. So of course I bought the prequel book, but I've never read it. But I saw the movie 2 nights ago. I paid $30 for this? Damn. So I'm gonna read it. What's up? It's a little bit later in the day. I am currently watching The Hunger Games. Yesterday I watched Catching Fire. Today I'm watching the first one. I watched them out of order because I didn't realize that they had the first one on this streaming service, so we're backtracking. My stomach hurts, so I'm going to take a little break, I think. I'm working on a project that I'll talk about next month. But I'm very excited because it's going to work. It's going to go throughout the whole year. Although, I think I already talked about them. If I already talked about the chapters, I'm working on the chapters. If I haven't talked about the chapters, I'm still working on the chapters, but you'll know what they mean at the end of December into January. I think I talked about them already. I believe so. So, I'm working on that, but I'm going to take a break and continue reading The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I read the first chapter. So far, it's a little bit different from the movie. Spoilers for the movie. If you're watching this and you haven't seen the movie yet and you want to, spoilers, skip ahead to here if you want to avoid. I'm going to talk about them in 3, 2, 1. In the book, the only difference that I've seen so far is that in the book, they know that they're going to be mentors for whoever gets picked at the reaping, whereas in the movie they're going into the academy they think they're going to find out who gets the Plith prize, which is like a scholarship and like money and stuff, whereas in the book they know from the start that they're going into mentor, and then whoever the best mentor is gets the prize. The movie, they just think they're going in for the prize, and then they throw a twist at them and say, hey, actually, you guys are going to be mentors for this year's tributes. So that's different. But that's all I can tell so far. Also, they say they say Tigris has brown eyes in the book, and in the movie, Hunter Schafer has blue eyes, but then also in the original Hunger Games movies, in Mockingjay Part 2, Tigris has like brown hazel eyes. But in Mockingjay, her eyes are also cat-like, so she probably changed them. But in the book, she has brown eyes. But in the movie, she has blue eyes. I don't know. It's not that deep. I mean, if you read the books, the original Hunger Games books, and then watch the movies, you know about the whole cat situation from the first movie, how the cat looks nothing like the one in the books, so then they recast a cat in the following movies. But I'm trying to notice the differences, and then I'm gonna write a summary for each chapter in my commonplace notebook. I'll give you a little bit of an updated notebook setup because it did change a little bit, maybe a lot. I don't remember the last update I gave you what it was, but it's changed, I can assure you. So I'll give that later in the video. This week we are prepping for my market on Sunday. Today's Tuesday, so it's on Sunday. All my products are ready to go. I have the inventory minus the ornaments. I have to make some more ornaments, and then I would like to make some bookmarks, like block print bookmarks, so I'm gonna work on those block print designs today, and then maybe some small block print prints as well, or something. I don't know. I want to do bookmarks for sure, like just 2, maybe 3 designs of bookmarks, just very quick for the market. And later today I'm going to set up like a mock display so I can visualize it and see how I want to set it up for the day of, instead of going into it blind. I'm going to set it up outside in the back later, so we will get to there when we get there. But I'm going to take a break for like an hour maybe, because my stomach hurts a lot. And I made some tea in my Twilight Zone mug. Ow, it's hot. In my Twilight Zone mug. Hey, this is the tea that I'm drinking, by the way. It is, apparently it says it's organic. That's not what I was trying to show you. What does it say? Garden of the Andes chamomile tea with a lot of honey in it. But yeah, I'm going to break, read the book, drink the tea, maybe take like a 10-15 minute nap as well. And then I don't know, I cut the front of my hair too straight across and it's making me feel weird. And then I'm going to work on the bookmarks, although I'm probably going to sit in bed and work on the bookmarks still, because I want to sit in the bed and draw on my iPad. But yeah, I'm going to go sit over there now and read, so goodbye. Also, I hope that I haven't really reviewed this footage from this camera. I know it's not great, that's kind of the point that I'm trying to do with it. Like, I want it to be a little weird and eerie and like home video vibed. I feel like that fits the brand of me and 1205 Studios, so I'm hoping this looks good enough to use. Otherwise, I'm filming so much content with this camera that it's not going to be usable, although I'm probably going to make it work. But yeah, this should be the second or third video with this footage. I still have not edited my other videos at this point. So let me know if we like this footage style. If it's just not fun to watch, let me know, and I'll go back to my other cameras that film better quality. I'm just trying to do a vibe with it. And this is so much easier to take with me places, as opposed to like this setup monstrosity. And that's my small camera. I have my main Sony camera, which is just bigger than that one. So this one is just like nice, fits in a bag. I can take it out and it's not too crazy. And then I also am throwing in some iPhone footage there too. I just want it to be a lot easier to do. And more, I feel like that also makes it a little more authentic too. Instead of me having to set up the mics and the cameras and the lights and whatever. This is a lot more personal. Which could be good or bad. I don't know, let me know what you think. Anyways, I'm gonna rest for a bit, and then we'll get back to work. Goodbye. It's currently 1 p.m. I'm in the studio right now. I went to get breakfast this morning with Grace because I have to go to the dentist because, long story short, Grace is a dental student and she's doing x-rays on people. So I said that I would do an x-ray for her class, but I have to go to the dentist to get like a prescription thing or something. I don't know the technicalities of it. So I still don't have a car. My car is still broken. I can drive, but my car is broken. Like I can't drive my car. I can drive other cars. So right now I have Grace's car. I dropped her off at school because she scheduled the appointment for me at a time when she had class, but she didn't realize she had class. So now I have her car. So I decided I was gonna the dentist that I have to go to is like nearby over here. So I stopped at my studio for a little bit. I have to take some packing supplies home so I can ship some orders out. It's been like a week, I think, since I've been here, which is not fun. I wish I was here all the time. If I had my car, I would be here all the time. Like every day, probably. Like, genuinely. But I didn't. I either have to have my mom drive me, or I have to have a friend drive me, or I could Uber, but that's expensive after, like, 2 rides. It's like a lot of money. So I have not been able to be here as much as I would like to. So, but I wanted to stop by today, say hello to the studio. Got some supplies. I'm gonna have to come back later this week, probably. I mean, I should probably just take inventory back home right now, because I have the market on Sunday. So when I get back home later, after this all dentist stuff is done, I'm gonna go home and I'm for real gonna set up my tent today. I didn't do it yesterday because I was feeling a little weird. My stomach hurt, and I started reading The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. But today I really need to set up the tent today so I can see what it's like and decorate it how I want it to look and have a plan for Sunday. So really I should be taking inventory today so I can like decorate it and make sure everything goes where I want it to go. But that would mean I would have to pack up a bunch of this stuff. And I don't really want to do that just yet because I don't know. I feel like I can envision, I don't need to bring a bunch of stuff. I can envision it well enough. I think. I hope. I might take this down too and take this to the market and then take all this stuff off so I can show off the pins, the prints, and maybe the stickers over here too as well. I'm probably going to take this thing over here also. I love this thing. It's so cool. But I want to have my booth be kind of like Christmas vintage antique vibe. The vision for it is going to be, I have a 10x10 pop-up tent, and then I'm going to get some type of a rug to put down. I'm sure my mom has a rug, an extra rug somewhere. She has a bunch of stuff that she keeps. I'm going to do that. I'm going to bring our Christmas tree. We have a fake Christmas tree that we got many years ago that I'm going to take and set up. I want it to be like a cozy, vintage, antique Christmas booth setup because my stuff doesn't really align with Christmas in terms of like the festive, holly jolly, like red and green colors. That's not really the vibe of my work, but antique stuff is, vintage stuff is, so I'm gonna try to mend it together as well as I can, and for me that makes me think, oh, I could do like a cozy Christmas cottage vibe. I think. I don't really know. We're gonna see. But I gotta figure that out in a little bit. But for now, I'm just kind of chilling. I did a little bit of work in my journal. We went to IHOP and we got breakfast. I did a little bit of work in my journal. I don't really have enough time to do any work right now because I have to leave in like 15-20 minutes, so I think I'm just going to read The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I'm on chapter 5, and so far it's pretty much identical to the movie. It's a pretty well adaptation that they did on screen, and I'm enjoying the book. So I think I'm going to read for a little bit. I have to go in like 10-15 minutes. It's only like 6 minutes away from here, but I'm anxious, and well, I probably shouldn't have opened up this just now. I probably should have waited. Maybe I'll leave it here and then swing back before I head back over to get Grace from school. But I'm a little anxious because medical places make me a little anxious, but also I had a very bad experience getting my wisdom teeth out, and I don't like the dentist. This is going to be so bad. I've only gone to the dentist a couple times since I've gotten my wisdom teeth out, and that was back in high school. So, to any dentist who's watching out there, I'm sorry. I brush my teeth well, and I do floss. Not as much as I should, but I do floss somewhat consistently. So I'm not the worst of the worst out there. But I'm nervous to go because I don't really know what I'm doing. I just know I have to give them a paper to sign, and I have to fill out some things because I have to get a prescription to get an x-ray done. I think. Something like that. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Anyways, I'm going to go read in the corner over here for 10-15 minutes. Hopefully I can finish chapter 5 and then head out. That's the plan. I'm in Grace's car right now, trying to make that stay. I went to Staples and I printed out photos to put into my notebooks. And I'm writing down all of my tasks that I have to do once I get home today and for the rest of the week so that I'm on track for the market. And I'm watching a video by Untitled Paintings on YouTube. Her videos are very similar to Megan Rhiannon's videos. Why does my neck look like I'm straining it? I'm not. I'm just sitting here. I look like I'm going crazy. Anyway, I went to the dentist, and I didn't know that they were going to do an exam on me. It was very quick. She just she literally scraped my teeth. I don't know what that means. Dentists will know what that means. I have no clue. But she scraped it, and she was like, your teeth are very strong. And I was like, oh, cool. And I was like, thanks? I don't know if I was supposed to say thank you for saying I have strong teeth, but I did. And then I went to Staples, printed out those photos. I got packing peanuts because I need those to pack orders. I'm out right now. Don't come for me, but also do come for me if this isn't good. These are disposable or biodegradable, like eco-friendly packing peanuts. I'm sure at the end of the day they're not that great for the environment either way, but I'm hoping those are a little bit better than regular packing peanuts. But like, you can eat those, apparently. Like, they're safe for you to eat. It's not like I've tried it or anything. So I'm waiting for Grace to get out of class, and then I'm gonna go home. Here are my tasks for the day. We have to paint. I have to paint and seal my ornaments. Then I have to work on my display. I'm going to set it up. Although it's supposed to rain today, and it was drizzling on the way over here. It stopped now, but I was also closer to the beach when I was doing that, so maybe it'll get to us in a little bit. So if it rains, then I'm going to have to do my booth tomorrow or the day after, because I think it's supposed to rain tomorrow also. But I'll set it up and see how it looks. Then I'm going to work on chapter 1, planning. I think I've mentioned chapters. I still don't know. I'm sorry. If you know what the chapters are, then you know. If not, then you'll find out. Then I want to journal with those photos I got. I need to edit the previous YouTube video. I think that video is going to be like an hour long or more. I have so much footage from that. It was basically all of November. This is a completely separate vlog. This one is going to be just this week of the market stuff and life that happens this week. Maybe a little bit into next week, but then I'm hoping that's where it ends. And I also need to make backing cards for my boot enamel pins. I don't have cards for those yet, so I'm going to do a block print, like in a western boot cowboy style. And then I also want to make a little comic strip book, like very small, like an inch, like 2 inches tall maybe by like an inch, just to hand out at the market, like free on the table, just like a little goodie, and people can, I don't know, if you want to put in your scrapbook or your journal or whatever. I love when I get a little free paper flyer thing, because I like to put them in my books, but I want to do something like that, just like a little freebie to give away for just coming into the booth and stopping by. My booth is very close to the front entrance, which is awesome, but a little scary, because that means I have to do good. It has to look good, and if it looks the way it does in my head, it'll be fine. But I am a little nervous, that's why I have to test it out, but I'm okay. Grace is gonna come with me to the market, and she's gonna help me. I'm gonna employ her for the day, and she's gonna help out at the market, which is awesome, because I'm a little scared to do it by myself. I also do think I'm gonna need help setting up for sure, and then the rest of the day we're kind of just gonna chill as people come in and out of the booth. Grab some lunch. She'll probably go on like a little run to go get food and bring it back, and then I think we're gonna go see Hunger Games after the market as well. Or we're gonna go to, there's a cafe in San Diego called Lestats, Lestat apostrophe S, I think. It is the coolest place ever. It's, okay, the interior isn't decorated that amazingly. There's another cafe called Cafe Bassam, Bassam, that is decorated so cool, but it's very small and cramped. But Lestats has touches of like antique vintage, but there's like a million rooms in it, and it like keeps going, and you can go upstairs, and there's like little doors you can go through. It's very cool. So we might go there to journal and work on other stuff, or we're just gonna go to the movie, or maybe both. I don't know. We'll see when that day comes. But yeah, I'm getting a little bit stressed out for the market, but not super stressed out to the point where I'm like clenching the muscles in my body or breathing heavily. But I am a little I'm more nervous than I am stressed out, I think. But it'll be fine. And if it flops, then oh well. I've already paid the money for the fee. That means the money's basically already doesn't even exist. That's already paid for. I don't need to buy any inventory. The only thing I have to do is pay Grace. I think that's all I have to pay for, I think. Everything else I'm trying not to buy anything for the market, because I just don't really want to spend a bunch of money, because I've already invested, I'll be honest, I've invested $300, which is not a lot, but it is to some people also, but it's not a lot in terms of like I don't know, whatever. I've invested $300, oh my gosh, there it goes. I've invested $300 into, my camera fell. I've invested $300 into the market for the vendor fee. Okay, dude, chill. For the vendor fee, and then money for Grace. So, I'm hoping I at least break even. Would be nice. I know people make like thousands at markets, and I'm a little nervous. I'm like, how am I gonna do that? But you never know. You never know how good it's gonna be. So, it's also a really big market. Like, lots of people hundreds of people go to this market. So, I'm a little nervous. I will catch up with you when I get home and work on the display and whatnot. Yeah. Alright. I'm ready for bed now. About to go to sleep. And I have my band-aids on. Today I only have 6. And 2 of them I have taped up. I'm not trying to flip you off, I'm sorry, but I don't know how else to show you. I put tape around them because these ones, this one I wrapped around the top. So I wanted to secure it. And then this one I just felt like it was going to slip off. The other ones feel pretty secure tonight. I found last night on Amazon that there's gloves that you can wear that help moisturize your hands or keep the moisture in your hands while you sleep. So I might order those and see how they feel. See if they work. If anybody, this happens to me every year, and it does happen consistently throughout the year, but not to the extent that it does once it's fall and winter. Especially when we get deep into winter, like late December into January, that is usually when this happens. But I'm nervous this year going into these next few months because it's barely November and I'm already bleeding. My thumb, this thumb too actually, but this thumb is the one that hurts the most, and I feel constant pain in it because this morning I try really hard not to peel them, of course, but I gave in and I peeled it, and it was one of the bad ones where it just ripped however many layers you have on top of your skin, just ripped it off, and it was bleeding, and it's down to it's just raw. There's a spot on here too that's also like that, and then the tip of this middle finger is raw. This has happened to me since I was a kid. It's not something new. It's always happened. Some years are worse than others. It's been pretty decent the past 2, maybe 3 years. I usually just get a little bit of peeling in the winter, but nothing bad. When I was a kid, I used to get really bad, and I was very insecure of my fingers because people did make fun of it, and there was really no way to go around it. I couldn't, if I put band-aids on all of my fingers, that's even worse, because then I have 10 band-aids on my fingers, and that's crazy. So I just let it go, and eventually didn't care. I was like, I can't do anything about it. What am I gonna do? So, I don't care anymore. I'm not really embarrassed of them. I never look at other people's fingers, so when would someone be looking at mine? I'll wear band-aids all day. The only reason I don't is because they get dirty really quickly and then they look gross. And to me that's worse than just having the peeling fingers. But at night I do find that it helps to bandage them up with lathered with Aquaphor, and in the morning, at least for the first half of the day, they feel pretty moisturized. And then if I apply throughout the day like normal, then I'm usually pretty good. And it does help. I think if I wasn't doing this, it would be a lot worse. But I'm hoping it'll go away. I'm going to try to go to the doctor next week, or sometime in the following weeks. If it continues to be this bad or get worse, because then it will start to impact the work that I'm doing. Right now I'm still managing, and I just have to hold my pen or hold brushes and stuff different ways, so that it's not uncomfortable or it doesn't hurt. But if it stays like this for like another week or so, or gets worse within the next week, I'm gonna go to the doctor, see if there's anything they can do. I've tried everything. I really have, except those gloves. Good morning. It's actually not morning. It's 2 p.m. I'm wearing my blue light glasses, and someone's gonna be like, "Those don't work. Those don't do anything." So what? So what? In my mind, they do. And when I'm editing videos, I try to wear these because I'm usually editing for a couple hours at a time, like 3 or 4 hours maybe. So I try to wear these, and they don't give me a headache, whereas if I am just on the computer without them, I do get a headache. So I think they work. I don't care. A placebo effect works for me, even if it's just a placebo. Like, it still works. Like, what does it matter if it's real or not? If it's actually real or if it's not? If it works in your mind, that's all that matters. Placebo effect is underrated. I'm editing a video right now, and then I was gonna do the booth display today, but it's raining, and I ordered some like walls for the tent, and they're not here yet. They'll get here in they're coming from Amazon, and they're supposed to be here today. So I think I'm gonna do the tent tomorrow. So today on my calendar we have edit video. I need to mold some more ornaments for the market on Sunday. Today's Thursday, so it's almost market. I'm a little nervous, but not really. I need to work on chapter 1, work on a comic strip, and then I need to work on some block print designs for those bookmarks and the pins. And then I need to ship out orders today. Like, they need to go out today. Today is the last day of the shipping period that I put online, and I feel bad that I kind of took a longer time for these ones. I was still figuring out how I wanted to ship and everything, so that has to be done today. I need to ship them out. Let's edit. I went to Black Rock Coffee, and I got a peppermint something, and I got a hot coffee because it's raining and it's cold, and today feels like winter. So I got a hot coffee, which I like every once in a while. Yep. Okay. Time to edit. My back is gonna hurt. I'm taking a break because this bag just got here from Amazon that I ordered because I wanted one that was bigger than this one, which is kind of like my everyday one, but smaller than the jean. I have a big blue one, but I think it's been shown. I don't really want to grab it, I'll be honest. So I ordered this one thinking it was going to be in between the two sizes of that one. It's pretty much the exact same size as that black one, but same width, like this way, but it seems it's like a bit deeper and a little taller. So I'm seeing how much I can fit inside of it. I'm just going to take everything out and then show you. So here it is, just a green bag. It's pretty deep inside though. I don't know if you can really tell. It's too dark, but I don't like this opening is very narrow and it's like hard to see inside of it. But so far, I can fit my iPad So let's get my iPad in there, all the way, wedged in the corner. Then really, okay, the black one only fits like a few of the things that I want. It only fits my iPad and then my traveler's notebook, this one, and like my wallet, phone, Aquaphor, my band-aids right now because my fingers are crazy, and like a couple other random things. I'm hoping that this one will fit my iPad, my big red work notebook, this notebook, phone, wallet, Aquaphor, all that stuff. So let's see how much I can get in here. So far, these two fit in good. There's a lot of room left. See if this one fits. Oh, it fits, and there's still room. I think I could stand this one up too. I could. Oh my gosh, wait a minute. This might be really good. Let's throw in my pencil bag on the side. Phone. What else? I don't know, some glasses. There's still a lot of room though. Okay. I think this is the bag. And it still looks tiny. Oh my gosh. Wait a minute. Yo. I think I found the one. It doesn't look big. It's a tiny little thing that has all of my notebooks in it that I need, except my planner, but I don't really take that places. And look at this pocket in the front to put wallet. I don't know where my keys are. Where are my keys? Oh, I think they're in here. Oh yeah. Wallet, keys, tissues. Oh my gosh! I found it. And this is kind of cool. It has two zippers. So I can put something that sticks in there and like zip it up. Or I can just close it all the way. Like so. And there it is. This shape is what makes it so narrow up here though, which I'm not a huge fan of. But there it is. I got a green one. I'll make it a black one and a blue one because I like this one a lot. But I'm going to put my pins. Megan Rhiannon just uploaded a new video. And it's 40 minutes long. And what am I gonna do? If you guessed, ignore the calendar layout that I had for today to watch that video, you would be correct. Every time I try to enunciate the words better, because I know that I kind of run my words together a lot, but when I try to enunciate each letter, it gives me a drawl. That's why I don't do it. But I can be southern. Maybe. Anyways, Megan Rhiannon. I'm gonna have to work while I do this. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I have to check my calendar. I forget what was on the calendar. But we're gonna watch this video because I love Megan Rhiannon's videos. Okay, bye. I'm gonna do an updated notebook setup video because things have changed a lot, and this is something I like to do. So for those of you who like notebooks and are interested in journaling and sketching and art notebooks, sketchbooks, whatever, here we go. This looks like a lot. It is to the average person. To me, this is a very small setup, but let me show you how it all works. A lot of it is still the same, I think, from the last video, sort of. Actually, it's kind of almost completely different, except this one and then this one right and that one right there. But let me show you. Okay, let's start with the personal sort of books, I guess. Okay, so this is my Hobonichi Weeks for 2024. This is the mega one, so it has a lot more pages. Where this thing is right here, into the back of it is all just blank grade paper, like note section paper. There's like 200 something pages of just blank grids. This one is the dark blue. I have one of the plastic covers on it, and then I put this little postcard and then a little embossed sticker for that. I'm using the Pilot friction pens. This one's a 0.5. I like these pens for planning because I can erase them and then I'm not worried about the ink disappearing. Some people have an issue where it like disappears, so I'm a little bit nervous of that because I do live in Southern California and sometimes it gets hot. I don't think it's hot enough for it to ever go away, but I think the planner, if those things go away, it's not that deep. I have everything on my Google Calendar as well, so it's all, I usually like flesh it out here and then I'll take it into Google Calendar to block out the time. But yeah, so in here, this is the same thing. It's just a planner. Here's how I set it up. It's the exact same way that I've been setting it up in the last videos. The tasks for every day go on this side, and then I have a running to-do list of things that I want to do in that week, and then I'll briefly kind of plan it over here and put a little dash for the days I want to do it, and then I'll go back and put another one to make it an X if I did do it that day. I do a priority section, and then down here I put whatever video I'm filming because I'm really trying to make sure I'm filming videos more often. In the back section, I don't really know what to do with it as of yet. I've been using it as like a task list for the day in case I run out of space in here because there's only a little bit, and then I'll take it into here to kind of put more smaller tasks that have to do with these. But I might change this into something else in the back, which I'll explain once I get to this book. But that's all that is. This one is a pocket Leuchtturm book, which was working so well for me, and it still does, and I don't know, I'm very frustrated with this because I started this book a little bit ago and was using it as a commonplace, and I was writing so much in here. Like, I was doing so good. I was using this every day, multiple times a day. I started this like halfway through November, and I've been writing in it a ton. And then I was like, you know what? I want to make this traveler's notebook work for many reasons. I just love the idea of the system. I like how it looks. It looks cool. So I forced myself into this one, and then I ended up really liking it. And then I've slowly been ignoring this one. But I wish this one was working. It does work. It's just, I don't know. I still keep it around because I do like to use it, and it's a cool size. I don't like A6 notebooks because they're too much of a square, but this one's narrow and it almost makes it feel bigger to me. I don't know what that means or how that works, but it does. So this was a commonplace, which I ended up having a commonplace in this one. But this one, again, I would put journal entries, sketches, memory keeping, research notes, art project idea, brainstorms, and then everything would be migrated into whatever book it corresponds to if I need to flesh the idea out further. Which brings us to this, the Traveler's Notebook, which is soon going to be called Asteroid's Journal, because in his universe he has a journal like this, which gets... never mind, I'm not going to tell you what happens. You'll have to read the book, or watch the comics, or watch the animated series whenever it comes out, but he's going to have a book like this. So, I have this little charm here that I just found in my mom's workshop. It's a horse. It says good luck. I have a Penco clip, which I use every day. I need a clip for my notebooks. I have one of my enamel pins, and then a little thing. I don't know what they're called, clips. I have that same cover, and this in here just holds my index stickers and some other random stuff. I have a pocket of things in here. This is the expression sheet that I did for Asteroid, but I just keep it here because I want it to look cool. And I have not found a place to stick it in permanently, so I have it here. This one is a monthly calendar layout. I'm going to blur most of this because I don't want you to see what's happening this month. But this is kind of like, if I'm going out anywhere and I'm taking like a little bag or something, this notebook will go with me. So in here, I try to keep my planner at home unless I'm going somewhere to work, like at a cafe. Otherwise, this stays at the house. But once I've kind of fleshed out the month, I will then transfer the main important things into here, so I always have like a thing to look at. It's also on my phone because, again, I use Google Calendar, but this is just a monthly one. It's just blank and you fill it out. This one is my journal, so in here I just journal, straight up journaling, and I'll put stuff in my journal. This is my commonplace, which is actually a moleskin cahier. I don't know how you say the type it is. It's one of these thin ones, and I cut it down to fit, but I cut it a little too small, as you can see, but I actually kind of really like the size of it. But in here is just commonplace, so I keep ideas. Here's a big idea list that I'm going to cover up. I don't want you to see that. This is a house that I found on Zillow that I really like, and I'm determined to buy one day. This is kind of just notes. I organize my footage in here for when I go to edit videos, and this is for research or stuff that I'm inspired by, or I have book reviews, and this was notes about like how to help my fingers stop peeling, so it's kind of more informational based. And then in the back, which is the main reason why I made myself get into this book, was to have a personal sketchbook, because I have like a work sketchbook, but I don't have a sketchbook just for me to use. So that's what kind of made this whole thing start. I have just like random things that I want to doodle. Yeah. So that's what that is. This is just personal. All personal and Nolan stuff. I don't put Asteroid stuff in here really, except in the commonplace. Sometimes I will. And then in the planner, of course. I mean, I draw him in my sketchbook, but I'm not... Usually when I'm drawing in here, if he's in here, it's like, I don't know, just a little silly idea, nothing I'm going to turn into anything. I might, but that's not the intended purpose. This is all just for me to document my life and thoughts. This is my go-to pen, the Zebra Sarasa Mark-On in .4. I also like it in .5, but this is my go-to pen. And I just keep it clipped through the clip, and then I put the clip of the pen over this elastic to help it keep in place. And then same thing with this pencil. This is the Graph Gear 500 in 0.3 by Pentel. I love this pencil so much. I have not found a pencil I like more. So this one I also try to keep in there too, but it doesn't fit in the clip really. But these two are my, this is like the everyday carry, and I take it everywhere that I go. This one is still for the novel writing. Nothing's changed. I just added one of these little pen loops, although I think I showed that in the last video. But yeah, it's just storyline stuff. I'm not going to show you anything in there because it's top secret. And this is Asteroid's journal, which is just a field notes that I covered with construction paper. And then in here I'm going to start writing notes that he would write in his journal, because he has a journal which goes from this to one of these in one of the series, which you will find out one day in the next year or so. So I'm going to write his notes from his perspective in here as little Easter eggs for like Patreon and on Tumblr or Discord or something. But this usually doesn't go with me. This usually stays here unless I'm like, okay, today is a day where I'm writing for the book, then I'll take this with me if I'm going somewhere. But this usually stays here, so I don't usually carry this around with me. And then this is like the main epicenter of 1205 Studios, art, work, Asteroid. This is the epicenter, and this one has not changed at all since the last time I showed you, but I'll show you again. It just goes in here. I keep tabs and stickers and notes in here, and then, but in here I just do, we have sketches of Asteroid. This is where auto sketches are. I'll sketch in here, I'll write in here. Anything work related, 1205 Studios goes in here, and that's that. But yeah, that's the updated journal, planner, notebook system, for those of you who are wondering. I really like this stuff. I love watching people's setups. It's very much my hobby, so I like to share it. And if you don't care, you can skip around. That's why I like to make these longer videos, because you can skip around and do whatever you want, come back to parts and discard other sections of things that you don't like within the video, but there's something hopefully for everybody within the video to watch. So use the timestamps down below to skip around to things that sound interesting. Also, let me know if you like these longer videos. I hope to make videos that are like about an hour each time, every like 2 weeks, every 1 to 2 weeks is the goal, with other videos sprinkled in here and there that are more like topic based. But yeah, let me know. Anyways, that's all. I'm gonna finish the video, work on some stuff, and then I don't know, we'll see what else happens today. So I ordered more of these tape runners because I use them all the time and I needed more. This is the last one that I had. So I went to Amazon, ordered a 3-pack. Each of them have 4 in the box. So there's 12. This is what I ordered. You want to see what I got delivered to my doorstep? This big box. And I was like, there's no way to fit that in there. They didn't. They fit 3 more. So now I have 48 tape runners, but I'm splitting them with my friend because I was initially, we were just gonna get these, and I was like, oh, do you want to split them? It's $20, and then we get 6 of them. Each of us would get 6 for $10. Now we each get 24 for $10. I love these. And they're expensive, so I'm so glad. crazy. And I say that all the time in these clips. And then I go and look back when I'm editing and I'm like, nobody's gonna notice. But I think everybody's gonna notice, and I know that my hair looks bad right now in this moment. But
I have it in a traveler's notebook is I wanted to have a day per page, but I also didn't want to have the days already written out so that I could write on the days I felt like it. And I've done most days, or you don't always think of sitting down to journal every single day. At least sometimes I forget. But this way I think it would be really great to start to create learning about how I would journal over said trip. And over the past month I've been thinking about it. I picked up a couple supplies.
Milo came to say hello before my market. Thank you. I think I scared him. I tried to pick him up to move him because I didn't want him to get run over because my mom was leaving. I'm giving him some salmon. I've talked about Milo before. He's my neighbor's cat, I think. Pretty sure. I think his real name is also Roger, which is a bad name for a cat, but that's not my doing. Sorry. Okay, goodbye. Milo started coming around like last year, maybe 2 years ago almost. Yeah, almost 2 years ago. And so we bought these toys for him. He was so tiny when we first got him. Or, it's not even ours. I don't know why I say that. The first time I met him, he literally just walked into our house. Because we were working on the house and redoing the floors. So the front door was open and he just walked right in. Like, I'm not kidding you, like, walked in. I think I have a photo. I'll put it in there if I do. And I freaked out because I didn't know who he was, or there's some random cats around here sometimes, but I've never seen him before. And then I, like, jumped up and, like, tried to get it out of the house because I didn't want it in the house. And then he just sat at the front door, and I was like, interesting. So then I went... And my next instinct was like, oh, I want to give him a snack because I want a cat. So I went and brought him a snack. And then he was very playful with humans. And every once in a while, he shows up here. He's the neighbor. Oh my gosh. Dude, what are you doing? He's the neighbor's, like, in front of us, I think. But his name's Roger, which is a stupid name for a cat. Yeah, it's almost been 2 years, so he's probably about 2.5 years old, because he was still really tiny when he came into the house, and now he's, like, full grown. And I know it's Milo, because one, he's not afraid of humans, except I did scare him earlier, but that was because I was trying to save his life, which he would know if he could talk, but he can't. But what was I saying? Yeah, he's not scared of humans, and he has, I'll zoom in, that on his left, or his right side of his nose, he's got that little white half mustache. So that's how I know it's him. And his back 2 paws are like little socks, and then his front ones are only his toes that are white. What's he doing? In the comics and in the book, Milo will be a character. I've already drawn him before. He's on my Instagram. It's a little animation of Asteroid holding him. But in the book, he's gonna be a black and white tuxedo cat, I think. Although I'm gonna make his fur like really dark blue just because I can do whatever I want. In my world, there's a blue cat, but very dark blue, almost black, and white. And he has, in the Asteroid universe, he has fur that makes the shape of stars around his eyes. I think I'm gonna do one eye. I don't know if I did it in both eyes. But if I did it in both eyes, I'm going to change it to one eye. And he's going to show up here and there. And then he's officially going to be Asteroid's cat. And this one always gets jealous after Milo comes to the house. I think he wants to meet Milo really bad. He sees him outside the window sometimes. But Milo's too scared of him. And I think he's too scared of Milo also. Riley, let's go. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. That's not yours. You have so many other toys. That's not yours. I'm sorry. It's not. That's your buddy. That's your buddy. Mm-hmm. It is. Guys, he's so jealous. Oh, you think you're a cat now too? You're just gonna climb around everywhere? Tomorrow's the market, and I have so much to do today, but I have an immense headache going on right now. I had it earlier in the day. It's like 12:30 right now, I think. I woke up today at 6:20. Well, I woke up at 6, I woke up at 6, and then I got up at 6:20 and started finishing the edits on the video before this one. I got a really bad headache at around 10, and then it went away at about 11-ish. I took some ibuprofen and it went away, and then it's kind of coming back again, and I'm really annoyed because I have so much to do today that I don't have time to sit here and relax and like calm my mind, but I need to. So some of the things might just have to be scrapped from the market. I have all the inventory that I have. I really need to make more ornaments, which I'm still planning on doing a little bit later. I wanted to be setting up my display right now to test it, but nobody's here right now. I'm home alone, and I need another person to set up the tent. Like, it is not possible for me to do it myself. You need to have 2 people. So I have to wait till my dad gets home in about probably like 30 minutes to an hour. So it kind of threw off my schedule a little bit, and now I'm a little annoyed and like mad that things aren't going how I wanted them to go. But I do know in the end it's gonna be fine and everything's gonna work out. But I am a little peeved, I suppose. And I wish I could set up the tent myself. I wish it was like an easier thing to do, but you literally need 2 people so you can pull it apart and have them stay in place while you open it. But it's okay. I just have to move things around a little bit. I think I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I'm stressed out and I'm not admitting it to myself, and it's turning into a headache. So I'm gonna sit and rest for a little bit, like 30 minutes, and then get up and get things going. And whatever I get done is what I get done, and whatever I have at the market is what I have at the market, and it's okay. I feel like it's a good time to eat, but I don't know what. We have frozen food in our fridge at the studio, and there was Trader Joe's chicken tikka masala, and I wanted that, and I should have brought it home with me or made it while I was there, but now that's all I can think about. I don't really want to cook something. We don't have anything that's like super quick and easy to prepare, but I think I might have to take the time. I have to know that it's okay to take the time to make the food, and that it's not going to deter me because I need to eat. I don't forget to eat, but I kind of push it off. If I didn't have to eat, I would never eat. I don't like eating. It's not that fun for me. I'm not a food connoisseur. I eat so that I get my nutrients for the day, and that's about it. I don't like trying new foods. I don't like a lot of the textures in foods. I don't like the taste. There's too many of them. And I like the foods that I know that I like. And yeah, I don't know. I might order some Uber Eats, actually. That's not a bad idea. The other thing is, I have to realize, okay, it's okay to spend money on the food because, again, $20 to make me feel better, not the end of the world. But I try very hard not to spend that much money constantly. This is a long ramble of nothing. Can you see the way that my brain works? Okay, gonna get some food now. My fan is on, and I'm sorry if it's really loud. It is 5:01. I am posting the last video on my channel, the video before this one, or I don't know, maybe there's another one. The really long one, the one that's like an hour and a half. I'm posting that one right now. I've never made a video that long before. It's literally just a vlog. I don't know how long this video is going to be. It might be an hour. Also, who knows? But I'm excited to post it because I want to post something that's really long, and I'm done trying to make videos fit the algorithm. My hair looks crazy today. I'm just going to post what I want to post, and I liked making that video. It took a lot longer, obviously, but it was worth it, and I like a giant compilation of clips, and I feel like I got to show more stuff. Obviously, it's an hour and a half. I got to show more. Guys, my hair. I'm sorry. I'll fix it later. Okay? I don't have time. But I feel like it just feels more authentic or real because of how long it was, and there are more mundane parts to it, and also more exciting things, and it encompassed all the things. I didn't just put highlights of the month. I mean, I did, but also there were parts that weren't as, I wouldn't say were a highlight of the month. Anyways, that goes up in 10 minutes. And in the meantime, I'm making my molds. I actually have a lot more ornaments than I thought. I think I'm going to try and do 10 of each design. I feel like that's a safe amount for the market. I don't know that I'll sell more, but if I do, then that's cool. I can also always be like, hey, I'm out of them right now, but you can get on the website. Here's the card, blah, blah, blah. My dad just brought home dinner, so I'm going to go eat that really quickly. Set up the tent finally, even though it's dark outside. I don't have a choice now. I gotta do it in the dark. And get everything wrapped up. Running out of time, a little bit stressed out, but it's more like adrenaline, and I feel excited. So, let's go. Let's get ready. finishing up product stuff and unpacking everything. I'm a little nervous because I have to finish making the price list on Photoshop, print it, and I still have to change, get ready, and load up the car. And I have less than an hour, but I think we'll be fine. I'm so stressed out right now. Grace isn't here and I'm freaking out. I'm glad I'm not here by myself. If Grace wasn't here, I'd be going crazy, I think. But the booth is set up. I've made a few sales already. It's been like 50 minutes. I'm drinking a yerba mate, which is not a good idea, but they're handing them out for free. So I'm like, I need that. Hi guys. We're packing up now because it's time to go. Very successful. I'll talk about it later when I get home. We're gonna go to a cafe, I think, and do some other stuff. So I'll show that. But very fun, very exhausting. I'm very tired, but I'm happy with everything. I wish I recorded more throughout the day, but I didn't really know what to say, other than like showing you what it was and everything. But I'll review it, talk about it later. I'm putting this in my journal because look at that's so cool. Like perfect for my journal entries. But yeah, I'm gonna pack up. I'll do a little montage, and then we'll go to the cafe. I'm so tired. I'm going to bed right away. I will update you tomorrow about how the day was. I thought I was tired last night. I'm extra tired today. I opened up the canopy wrong and I pulled something in my arm and in my back. So that's amazing. But yeah, it's time to sleep. I'm gonna. My fingers are like. You can't tell, but they're getting worse. So I'll go to the doctor tomorrow. I need to go to the doctor this week. My birthday is in 2 days. And it doesn't feel like it at all. Like at all. Usually it feels like my birthday is coming. This year it does not. I don't have any plans. Good night. Talk to you tomorrow. I've been trying to record this segment for a few days now, and I either get interrupted or something, or I just don't feel good. So, anyways, the market was almost a week ago now. It's almost been a week since the market. I did that on Sunday. Today is the following Saturday. Today's the 9th, I believe. I don't know. I can't check. It's the 9th, I think. I'm pretty sure. And yeah, the market was great. It was super fun. My birthday was on the 5th, so that was back on Tuesday. So I've kind of been taking this week off, pretty much. I haven't felt too great mentally or physically. The first couple days after that, I was just tired from the market. And then up until today, it's kind of just been, I don't feel too good. But I'll get into that, maybe. But the market was great. It was super fun. It was my first market ever. And it was very nerve-wracking, and I was very scared and very nervous. But it was the most fulfilling experience. Not ever, but like it was definitely one of them. And that sounds kind of maybe bad to be like, maybe not ever, but it was one of them. I really did. I had some expectations. My mom has done markets before. She makes hats and she sells art and she has a business herself. So I've seen and I've helped out at her markets and her booths. So I kind of had somewhat of an understanding of what it was going to be like. But I had never done my own. I did one very small mini booth market thing for a different event last year, but it was nothing in comparison to this. This was like my first real market, first time selling in person. So it was a little bit of a learning curve, but nothing that was too overwhelming or impossible to do. I could not have done it without Grace's help. So thank you, Grace, for helping and being my employee for the day. But we got there, we loaded in. I actually loaded into the wrong spot because the floor wasn't labeled well. And that's nobody's fault. I was confused because also the people if you're facing my booth in the middle, if you're facing my booth, the people to the left were in my spot. Like their stuff was overlapping into my space. So I was like, oh, I obviously can't be there because they have stuff in here. So this must be a walkway. So then I moved over to the other spot, which had my number next to the line. Turns out I was in the wrong spot, but the other people were literally in my spot. So I was confused. Anyways, it got sorted out. I moved my stuff over. It all worked out because the stuff that they had going into my spot was covered up by display stuff that I had. And people wouldn't have been walking there anyways, so it was okay. But we set up. Those tents suck. And I've known this. But doing it myself, I was like, oh my God, these tents are a pain in the ass. They don't go up easily. They don't come down easily. They get stuck. And then they get all messed up, and it's just annoying. But I hurt myself in a few places, unfortunately. When we were setting it up, I lifted it up. I was trying to get it in there, and it just wouldn't go because you have to have two people to do it, and it was uneven and whatever. And I pulled something on my arm, and for a second I was like, oh no, I'm not going to be able to do anything else. I couldn't move my arm, but that lasted like 5 minutes, and then it never hurt again. The next day, my neck was stiff. My left knee just felt like it was sprained. I don't even know how the knee happened because I was sitting down or I was standing up, but I didn't do anything. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, the market was an amazing day. It was very fun. I'm proud of myself for what I did, and I made a good amount of money to feel like I didn't lose anything. I invested a certain amount and then I made a profit, so that's all you can really ask for. And I met a couple people who knew me and knew my work and were fans of my work, and that was crazy to meet people in real life that aren't my family and friends who enjoy my stuff, but to meet someone who truly just like found me online and connected with the stuff that I made, and enough so to come and say hi. Whether they came there for me or not is not what I'm saying, just the fact that I was there and they were like, oh my gosh, I love your work, like I have your stuff. I was given a little ghost Sunny Angel, so this is gonna be cherished for the rest of my life, and I think it's so cool. But I'm putting it over there with my ghosties for now. I think that's the best spot for it. But I met a few people who really liked my work, and some of them had my products already. One of the groups that came in, they had my tote bags, which was really crazy to see someone using my stuff out in the world. It was very fun, and I'm very grateful to have people that like my stuff, and I'm also very proud of myself for doing it. And it's times like those when you're reminded, like, okay, you're not just doing this to do it, and it's not just a hobby, and it's not, I don't know, it really kind of grounds you in the sense of you're doing this for a reason. People like the stuff that you are doing. You are connecting with people, whether you believe it or not. And again, that's only 2 people who have told you to your face that they've connected with your stuff. And how many people have not told you either online or in person? And I don't know, you never know what's going on. So it was really cool to see some of that kind of be brought to reality and witness it. So thank you to those of you who stopped by and said that you knew my work, or that you came there specifically to see me and my stuff. That was very cool, and that was written down in my journal for sure, and it will be there for the rest of eternity. I will never forget that. It was very cool. The next day, or on Sunday, I was like, okay, I'm going to take the next 2 days off because tomorrow I'm going to be tired. It was like, I had like three or four 13-hour plus days leading up to the market, and the day of the market was a lot. So the next day I was like, okay, I'm going to take a break. And then the following day is my birthday, so I'm just going to chill. And if I want to lay in bed all day, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to watch a movie. I'll journal, I'll draw, do whatever I want. Not because I have to finish a design so that I can get the products made in time for January or something. I'm just going to do what I want to do. And I did that. And then that was good to have that rest on that day. The following day was my birthday, which was interesting. I'm not going to talk too much about it. I love birthdays. This one just felt weird, and I didn't do anything. So we'll leave it at that. I sat in bed for the majority of the day and just slept or scrolled on TikTok and YouTube and whatever. I read some more of The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I think I'm on chapter 9 at this point. I haven't read as much as I want to, and I'm going to try to read more next week. The rest of the week I was kind of just in a weird funk, and then the day after my birthday I started feeling a little sick. It didn't really hit me until yesterday. Today I feel sick, but not horrible. I just feel like there's like the pressure in the head, and I have a sore throat, and then I'm a little congested here and there. It's like off and on type of thing, but it's not anything crazy. But okay. I felt guilty taking those 2 days to just do whatever I want. I feel extra guilty because here it is Saturday and I'm still taking those days off. But it's okay to take a week off when I've been working pretty much nonstop for months now. And I'm not saying like I work the hardest or do crazy stuff, but I have been working nonstop since August. So I think it's not unreasonable to take even a week off. I'm I'm still getting the things done that I need to get done, and my orders are being shipped out, and I'm still doing that. But in terms of making new products and working on the novel and the comics and learning my animation stuff and social media promotion and business stuff, I haven't really been doing, and I think that's okay, and I will start it up today or tomorrow. Monday for sure, I'm going to be back in business, but I'm going to take today and tomorrow to kind of gear back up into that mindset. I deleted all the social media apps off my phone so that I'm a little less distracted as well, and we'll see how that goes. I don't know if that's going to do anything, but I hope so. But yeah, I'm still going to take today very slow and very chill and just let myself do what I want to do, but I'm going to try and put a little bit of an emphasis on getting some more work done. Maybe I'll start some sketches on some products for the next couple of months and plan out some more things or update the plans of things, because I was not expecting to take a week off, so I think I need to go back and replan a couple things. Okay. I'm going to finish cleaning up my room, putting things where they belong, and then we'll see from there. I don't really know what I'm going to do.